Hello everybody, James here from ItsMuchMore, and today I brought a guest along with me, Jack.
Hello.
We'll be talking about Hasbro WWF Hasbro figures. So let's take a look.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was loads of these figures that were made. 11 series officially. This season or set of videos we're going to be doing is really looking at what was made, what was designed, what was planned, some of the prototypes, some of the tests that they did, and some just really interesting facts about the figures themselves. A lot of this has come from what we'll be showing you in the videos is from my own collection. I don't have a full collection, unfortunately, but it's something I'm desperately trying to get to, but some of them are ridiculously expensive now. This isn't going to be a set of videos based on how rare and how much they cost, because you can find them out online all over the place. So really we're going to be focusing on how they were made, how they were designed, and generally just loads of really fun facts about the figures themselves.
Cool. Alright, we look forward to it, so let's go. Yeah,
so at this point we're going to run through the very first advert that was ever made, which was put on TV, which you'll be seeing on the screen now, and having a quick look at that. So the advertising campaign that they did was really, really strong. Of course, this was pre-internet, so people were watching telly in between cartoons. There was magazines, there was catalogues, there's all sorts of stuff being made to really, really push these figures. So this was in 1990 that these came out. The figures that you're seeing on the screen here have very, very similar kinds of, I don't know, designs as to what some of the figures that were released are. You can see the font is ever so slightly different from the picture, and as to what the figure is that you're seeing now, which is the real figure that was released. If you look at as well some of the magazine print, so this was an advert that came through lots and lots of different magazines and catalogues. So if you actually have a little look, James, if you want to point out to me what isn't present or what is present here that we didn't see with the figures, and pay very close attention to, I'll give you a hint, pay close attention to the ring first of all.
Okay, yeah, we didn't obviously get the drape around the ring, it looks like. We didn't get that. What else is on the ring? We didn't get the corner post, did we? Or did we?
The corner posts are an interesting subject, and we'll cover that in another video, because there's loads of stuff about that. But you're absolutely right, the drapes of the ring didn't come. We didn't see them, we never saw them in any designs. This was the only time we ever saw pictures of them. If you take a look at the figures now that are stood next to the ring, and again that's a big hint, next to the ring, someone who's probably known for carrying an animal around to the ring with them. What can you see which is different that came with the actual figure?
Right, so we've got Damien in Jake the Snake.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, we saw Damien with the figure that was released, but we didn't see the bag. So already, this is series 1, and there was stuff that they were designing and putting out, and we're getting all the way to the prototype stage that we never saw even released with the figures themselves. So along with loads of the magazine prints and with the TV advertising, catalogues were huge. Yep. They were huge. Yeah. Everyone remembers going through the catalogues and circling things they wanted as kids and leaving it on the coffee table and holding it open on the page they wanted. We all did it. Yep. So one of the stores that had a special promotion for the figures was a store called JCPenney. So I think they were much more American. They were like the American version of what we have in the UK, which is like Argos or something like that. In their catalogue, and you'll see on the screen now, they have, you can buy the ring, and you've got a free Hulk. So Series 1 Hulk, so you can see he's in the same pose, he's got the Hulkster sort of gritter press slam. Yeah, and you've got a Macho Man.
Okay.
What's wrong with the Macho Man?
It looks like he's wearing different trunks, because we had, was it the orange trunks?
Yes. So Macho Man, which was released on the common market, I suppose, had orange trunks with the stars on. In this particular shot, essentially, that was taken, he's wearing green trunks. We never saw this. Even people that bought the ring from JCPenney, they never saw this version Macho Man. It was always the orange trunks with the stars. There's only one person that owns that actual figure that you can see in the shot that's been taken the photo of.
Is it you?
No. But I have got a custom version of it,
Okay.
which you're looking at now. So this is not the original. This is a custom painted version of that Macho Man. But there is only one person that owns the figure. If you're familiar with modern wrestling, there's a wrestler called Zack Ryder, and his name will pop up a lot throughout these series of videos. He's a huge wrestling collector, and he owns lots and lots of the unique pieces, and his name will pop up a lot. You're seeing a picture of him holding this figure, so that's proof that he had it. I don't think he discloses how much he paid for it, I'm not sure, but it would easily be in the thousands, because we know there's only one of this figure that ever existed, and the one that's ever existed is the one you're looking at in the picture that he's holding and the picture that's in the catalogue. No others have existed. So really, that's all the real interesting stuff about Series 1. Ultimately, the figures themselves speak for themselves, really. The figures speak for themselves.
So we're going to have a look at some of the figures then that you've got from Series 1. Let's take a look.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, running through the figures that are there. So we'll have a quick sort of scan through to see what we've got. So, and I'm going to skip one because I'm going to come back to it. So you've got the Hulkster with the Gorilla Press Slam, as you can see here in the picture. Andre the Giant.
Andre.
Famous wrestler and figure. With these line of figures, and a very, very common thread throughout the series was they were based from certain events. Your WrestleManias, your SummerSlams, Survivor Series, yeah, absolutely. The Royal Rumbles even as well. And we'll see reasons for this as we go through the videos. But really, with Series 1, it was based on WrestleMania, whichever one it was.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of the attire that the wrestlers wear as well, you'll see, is very similar to what they were wearing whilst they were doing the matches.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we've got, in Series 1, Hulk Hogan with Gorilla Press Slam, his famous move, and I think that's a really, really good move for the figure to have, because really when you're playing with the figures, that's what he can do.
That's cool.
So that's always a really good thing that people love. Andre the Giant, as we've covered. Demolition, Axe and Smash.
Oh, Axe and Smash. Demolition.
Yeah.
Already a tag team being made.
Yeah, so these were released with a single figure packets,
Okay.
which I think upset some people because they were a tag team, but tag team packs weren't even released at this stage, so it was just the individual releases with those. Ravishing Rick Rude.
Oh.
So
Rick Rude.
some people liked him, some people didn't.
I don't know why he's even there.
Yeah, of course we have Macho Man as well, as you can see. Akeem and Big Boss Man.
Okay.
What was the tag team that they created?
Don't know.
Twin Towers. They tried to make, with a lot of the design for these figures, they tried to make them so they had original parts for each one. If you look at Brutus's hand, you see the original format of his fingers, almost like the scissors.
Okay.
So again, a lot of them tried to have original parts with them, and Akeem is no different. His head, his hat, is all entirely unique to him. Jake the Snake Roberts, as we've covered. He's got Damon, but no bag when the pack, and Brutus had his scissors. And you had $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, which was the black version in the black suit.
Okay.
A few of them had accessories. You had the scissors and the shears with Brutus. We've already covered the snake with Damien.
Yep.
What did $1 Million Man always have with him?
Oh, he always had Virgil. He had his $1 million belt.
Of course,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Demolition didn't have their helmets at this stage with the packs. This came slightly later, which we'll cover later on in the videos. So, a bit of a personal gripe for me. I've missed one figure out because I despise the figure. I think it wasn't fitting to the character at all, and quite frankly is a poor choice for the figure and the wrestler. So we'll just take a second from my own personal thoughts just to really despise the Warrior figure.
The Ultimate Warrior figure.
Yeah.
Let's take a few moments.
I'll now give you the reasons why I think it's a horrible figure.
Okay.
It's a jumper for a start, so you pull the back down, the figure jumps, as you can see.
Right.
How was Warrior known for jumping off of the top rope?
It could be his clothesline, his famous running clothesline they used to do.
But that's not really a jumping thing. You look at some of the figures later on that had clothesline movements.
They had that arm movement, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So you could have put them in that mold. I don't know why they chose to have them in that particular mold.
The detail looks on him itself, the tan, the colouring looks amazing. But the fact that when you used to press down on him to jump, his back feet would just fall out, and it just would look a mess when you used to play him as a child. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, there are a few different ways that the Hasbro manufacturers made jumpers. You can see from the Ultimate Warrior figure, when you pull his body down, his head is on a spike. So his head stays high and the body comes down. They changed this later on down the line, which we'll cover. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really despise the figure. I think it didn't do him justice at all as a figure. Some people love him.
I love him.
Yeah. I mean, you've met the guy.
I've met him. I've shook his hand. His hand was about the size of two of mine. Yeah, he was a true gent. And I remember that was my first wrestling figure that I got. And it's got fond memories. But yeah, I just didn't like the fact that when you pushed him down, his head was separate from his body. It just looked a bit odd, a bit scary at the time, seeing his head not part of his body. But
yeah, and I think, bear in mind, this was the first time that kids around the world had been given these figures. They didn't expect anything different. I think my first figure was Jake, the first ever figure I ever bought. So for me, Jake is a really strong figure because I think it was a great figure for him, and I love the fact that it came with Damien as well. So, I don't know what my best figure would be within the line, within this series. I don't really know.
Could it be Jake? Does it hold a fond memory, or is the fact that the arm, pushing back the arm, is quite phenomenal for breaking or falling off the actual cradle it was on?
Yeah. I think with Jake, you couldn't do the DDT with him, which is what everyone loved the move, and they loved him doing it. Yeah. So this is another gripe that I had with some of the figures. You probably think I hate these more than I actually like them, but I love them so much that I'm that passionate with them that it's the little details with some of them that I think they missed a trick on some of them. So if we look, for example, going to the actual cases and the figures and the packets, if you look at Brutus's card, his famous move is the sleeper hold. Perfect, that's what he did. Yep. We knew that. That was spot on, 100%. If you look at, for example, Smash from Demolition, I don't know what a Demolition Smasher is. I don't know. But it certainly doesn't fit with their moves, in my opinion. If you look at $1 Million Man, for example, the $1 Million Punch, you know, I don't know what the $1 Million Punch is essentially.
Wasn't his the $1 Million Dream like a sleeper hold as well?
Yeah.
Could have had the same sort of attire as Brutus if they wanted to. It's the same move.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely. And I think as well, they've missed certain tricks with some of the figures by having these particular lists on the cards as their moves.
I never liked to play with the wrestlers that were in their entrance clothes. So like $1 Million Man came to the ring in that outfit, but yet Brutus is in wrestling attire. I just never liked the fact that certain wrestlers had their entrance clothing on. So I'd always have them outside the ring as a sort of manager. I never used to use them to play as.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really, really good point. You look at someone like Macho Man, whose entrances were famously extravagant, but yet the figure we see in Series 1, as you can see on the screen again, it's just his wrestling attire. So it's, again, the way they designed these figures was a mixture between what they thought was going to be the greatest thing for them to make, for the kids to play with, against the kids actually playing with them. And that takes me back again to the Ultimate Warrior figure. He wasn't famous for doing those moves, so why did they put him in that pose? Whereas when you have people like Andre the Giant, the actual figure for Andre the Giant was a perfect figure for him. It was a big, cumbersome figure, and that's what he was known for. He was known for just slogging about the ring and just manhandling his opponents. Going back to the Hulk, the Gorilla Press Slam. You could stand him in the middle of the ring and have a figure on top of him holding that figure, and it would stand there. And as a kid, that blew your mind. That was amazing. Well, it was for me anyway. But yeah, I'm going to put my favourite figure in the series as Jake. I think I have to do it for the sentimental value. It comes with the snake. It's the only one in the entire series that that comes with a snake. Comes with an animal for this series, anyway, for Series 1. There are other animals later on, but no, Series 1 has got to be Jake for me. For you?
Sentimental value is going to be your least favourite, the Ultimate Warrior, purely because he was my first, and the fact that he was my idol as a wrestler. But looking at the set, I mean, I do like Brutus. I was a big fan of Brutus because he was at the Brutus and Hogan sort of era, and they were a tag team at some point as well. But yeah, Brutus above Beefcake. Yeah, just because the fact that he just looked crazy. His eyes were like out, and he had his shears with him as well. But yeah,
you see again. We'll again.
He's got the jumping move as well.
And that's what we're talking about. That big neck. See if we look where the warrior is. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's that neck that pops out. Looks weird. Doesn't
Scary.
look right.
Scary as when I was a child.
Yeah, we're coming.
And it was dangerous as well. You can get your finger caught in there and everything. You know. Yeah. See, look, that hurts.
Yeah, I mean it hurts apparently. But there are figures that jump later on in the series that don't have this neck, which we'll cover, which was a design feature that they changed. So you can see from some of the prototype pictures that we've got on the screen that some of them have listings for what the paint scheme was going to be and what the colour scheme was and what the figure was going to be in the stance and things like that. Okay. So there was a really, really heavy design stage with the figures before they were even put to mould, for example. And we'll see as we go through the videos as well how they constructed these figures, so from paper all the way through to production, and then test production, then painting and things like that. Okay. So you'll see some of this as we go through the videos, but you can see here on this picture that they're already identifying kind of the stance, the pose, and how they want the figure to stand against everybody else. So that's Series 1. 12 figures in total for that first release. So you had 12 figures that you could go to the toy store and go and badger your parents and your older brothers and sisters to buy.
So going through the catalogues and, like you say, circling which ones, the Index and Argos at my time.
Yeah.
And I had both catalogues, and yeah, because some of them had different ones that they sold as well, and some of them at the time were like, okay, I want some from here and some from there. So I did a little note to my parents, but yeah. Yeah,
sending them around town to go to different shops.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, some of the figures that you buy now, they're 20, 30 years old, however old, and they still have the price stickers on from Woolworths, and it's like $2.99 from Woolworths, and you look at the figure and it's obviously the value is much greater than the $2.99.
Yeah.
So I hope really what I've covered for Series 1 is interesting, and I hope you've enjoyed what I've covered so far. A lot of this information is from myself, but there's a huge community out there that love these figures just as much as I do. So down below there'll be some links to some Facebook groups which are outstanding with their knowledge. I won't mention people individually because there's far too many people to mention.
Okay.
However, a lot of the pictures and a lot of the screenshots that I'll be showing have come from a particular individual, which again, their Facebook group will be in the comments below.
Cool.
So yeah,
nice one.
Fantastic.
That's it. Well, thank you very much for watching. I've been James, along with my friend here, Jack. We're taking you through a series of WWF Hasbro figures over the years. So this is the first episode of the first series. So be sure to check out the rest of the videos that are coming soon. We'll try to keep them updated as quickly as possible. But yeah, if you want to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know about your memories of Hasbro figures over the years. If this is the first time you're getting involved, if you're starting to collect for yourself. But yeah, just share some memories with us, and it's great to hear your stories. So yeah, that's my favourite one, and not so much for Jack's one. But yeah, take care of yourself, all the best. We'll see you later, bye bye.
Bye.